boys and girls. We're back. See that mound over there?
Please, I'm gonna climb that mountain.
Yeah, we're back. Full of white babies.
Robcast radio. Wanna go? I might.
About Monday,
I might.
Chop the cake, turn up the radio, and please don't swipe us. Please don't like us. Do not knock us until you try to. Coming to live from Robcast radio station and the portal directly into your imagination. So turn on the podcast. Here we go. The Robcast. Tell you better. Go ahead.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, once again, it is time for Robcast Live, number 5, Mixed Martial Arts, coming at you live, uncut and unready from Spreaker Studio and Robcast Radio. So without further ado, here's Zombie, and here it goes. Alright. Boys and girls, and children of all ages, once again, it is time for Robcast Live. Oh yeah! And what we're going to talk about a little bit about today, we might just talk a little bit about mixed martial arts. And let's see, what is mixed martial arts? We'll talk about what mixed martial arts is, UFC, combat sports. We might talk a little bit about, I don't know, what do you think about CM Punk? CM Punk coming in from WWE wrestling and, making his way into the cage fighting world. Actually, not just into cage fighting or not just into mixed martial arts, but to the very highest level of mixed martial arts, which is the ultimate fighting. As always, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in, but mainly I always want to start off the show, your show, mind you, by saying thank you to the military. I always like to say thank you to the Army, to the Navy, to the Air Force, and to the Marines for doing what you bad motherfuckers do to keep our country free. I also like to say thank you to the police officers, thank you to the firefighters, and thank you to the EMTs, all of you first responders. Whenever we're all running away from danger, guys, you all are trained to run right into it, and for that, I give you mad respect. And here we go. We'll talk a little bit. We might talk about running around the sprinklers on the football field at 2 o'clock in the morning in our underwear. Way back in the day. Man, that was a blast back in the day. I've got someone from Phoenix Combat Sports that's going to explain to us a little bit about what is MMA. And also, if you're going to get into MMA, how to do it. So rock and roll, let me see if of course, I'll get to that and the machine that I'm supposed to be playing you guys is not going to be on, so guess what? We'll take just a second. Mixed martial arts. Well, normally, guys, the way that it started to get heavily popular here in the United States, it came here from Brazil. As far as, well, we have all different kinds of combat sports from all around the place because you've got Muay Thai, you've got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Why can I not say Jiu-Jitsu? Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo. You got a lot of different stuff that you got to take into consideration whenever it gets into mixed martial arts. And as this gentleman will explain to us a little bit about the definition of combat sports, MMA, and things like this. Let's just see what's going on here.
What is mixed martial arts? MMA. It's a mixture of martial arts combined together. The reason I say this is because some people have opened up MMA gyms and they teach a little bit of lots of things and call it MMA, and it's predominantly based on popularity of the UFC and people trying to have shortcut ways to be good at mixed martial arts by doing 20 minutes of punching, 20 minutes of wrestling, and getting in a cage, buying all the gear, and then they can tell their mates they do MMA. Now, MMA is not that. MMA is doing martial arts in a dedicated way to a point of competency and then doing another martial art. So, for example, you do Thai boxing and you do BJJ, but you do them to an advanced level. You might do Thai boxing for 3 or 4 years and do BJJ for 5 or 6 years before you can actually be a mixed martial artist and be competent at both. We believe that mixed martial arts, we meaning anybody that's been doing this for a long time and around, is that you do a martial art for life, you do it to be dedicated to, you do it to be an expert at, and if you do mixtures of martial arts, you add skills to your training. So if you do Muay Thai, you do striking. If you do boxing, you do striking with an emphasis on hands. If you do BJJ, you do submission fighting. You do wrestling, you learn how to stand up and wrestle. But you're not a mixed martial artist unless you're competent at all of them and you can integrate them together. So Phoenix is a mixed martial art gym because we have professional programs in BJJ, Thai boxing, boxing, wrestling, and an essential part of mixed martial arts is being fit and healthy. So Phoenix is an MMA gym because you can choose to do any of those programs. But to do MMA is to be good at them and integrate them together. So when you train at Phoenix, you specialise in something, and when you get good at that, you specialise in something else. We believe that if you spend 1 day a week doing BJJ and 1 day a week doing Thai boxing and 1 day a week going for a run, you're not a mixed martial artist, you're just average at everything and good at nothing. And we think that mixed martial arts should be a dedication to martial arts for your life and that you should specialise and be good at it. So MMA should be a lifestyle.
I'm going to pause that for just a second, just to quote Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said that he would rather fight a man that knew 10,000 different kicks than to fight a man that practiced the same kick 10,000 times.
Lifestyle, and it should be commitment to a martial art till you get to a competency level to be able to add to those things. The competition side of it is MMA, and there's many forms of MMA because it's a mixture of rules of other things. But even MMA is not a self-defense or martial arts system because the rules are designed to be a sport, designed to be entertainment. It's still fighting, it's hard fighting, you have to be good at it, you have to know how to fight, but it's not a self-defense system. And doing MMA is a fighting competition system, and that's what combat sports are, a sport using combat. They're usually martial arts, but they're not the martial art in themselves. The martial art is more than that and bigger than that. And the martial art is lifestyle and commitment beyond competition. Competition just adds to martial arts and adds to the quality of your martial art by competing, by testing yourself, by being relevant and up to date with what works. But that is a martial art training, and combat sports are only part of that. MMA is just one set of rules for competition, whereas combat sports are all of the sports that you do combat. And that should be a part of martial art training to develop your skills. And martial arts are what we're all in and what we love to do and should be a part of your life as well.
All right, there you have it.
He's going to be matched up with a real MMA fighter when he has.
Okay, hold on. We'll talk a little bit more about this, about what's coming up next. But there you go. That's what it is. Martial arts, mixed martial arts, is it's an expansion of your expansion of your martial art vocabulary. It's designed so that once you've gotten really, really good at whatever martial art that is your base, then you basically can cross-train into other martial arts because you've got to have You got to have hands. You've got to have ground game. You've got to have grappling. It helps to have some good kicks. You're gonna have Muay Thai. So there's a whole wrestling. There's a whole. It's a whole nother level, guys. Whenever you're talking about it, it combines boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, a lot of these different things. And then that's why whenever the controversy about CM Punk getting into mixed martial arts, not just getting into mixed martial arts, that's not the big deal, but getting into the UFC, which is the upper echelon of the fighting community, and also like the number one, fight platform on the planet of anything. And we know CM Punk came from the WWE. We know he's he's 38 years old now, and he got to where he was going to sign a deal in the UFC last year. And we'll talk a little bit of, what do you guys think about that? About CM Punk getting into the UFC, and that he decided that he would fight at 170 pounds, and the fact that he's been wrestling up against much bigger gentlemen, for a few years. It might seem, guys, that he also said that he had some kind of a martial arts background, but I don't know what it was. But let's just listen in on what does Joe Rogan think? What did Joe Rogan think a year ago about what would happen when CM Punk got into the cage, got into the octagon, and that finally happened a week ago, guys. And let's talk a little bit. We'll talk a little bit before. And if you're one of the young ladies, you're listening, I got some audio nuggets for y'all. I'll throw up in the background during the end of the show. Towards the end of the show, I got something special for the ladies. If your husband's making you listen to this right now, I apologize. There's got to be something better on, man. Change the channel. I'm kidding. Don't change the channel. What you could do is download the Spreaker Podcast app for your phone. And that's where you can follow me here at Spreaker Podcast. And you can also listen to this podcast anytime. Robcast. I'm slipping, guys. I'm slipping. You can listen to this Robcast anytime on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook or, as usual, always at Spreaker Podcast. And that's where I say thank you to Spreaker Studio for allowing my monkey ass to be on the air. And we're talking about MMA, and I've got a couple of little notes here that I would like to bring up, because part of the Robcast Live is representing Brazoria County, and by representing Brazoria County, I think, guys, I would like to go check out one of the next events coming up at the Royal Purple Raceway. And that's going to be the next time Kenjo Kelly is out there, because it looks like Kenjo Kelly got the Turbo Mustang back together, the one that he wrecked. And it's looking like it's set on kill, and it's ready to kick ass and take some names. So I will get with Kenjo or Leah and let them know that Robcast will be covering one of the Royal Purple Raceway events coming up in the near future. So that's something that we can look forward to. We talk a little bit about drag racing. Yeah. So that will be one of the upcoming shows. But this Saturday, November the 1st, guys, we're talking about MMA right now. And if I would have thought about it a little bit earlier, I may have gotten you guys some sort of okay, no, I did think about it earlier. I will get you guys some sort of an interview, but Saturday, November the 1st, at the Humble Convention Center, they're going to have some MMA fights, some professional MMA fights there. I will see if I can get an interview from Camp Roughhouse Fitness. Shout out Camp Roughhouse Fitness. If you want to get your MMA on, go to Roughhouse Fitness in West Columbia, Texas, and talk to Mr. Orr or talk to Mr. Williams. Roughhouse Fitness, I will see if I can get an interview with Camp Roughhouse Fitness. If